What is up with it? Today we are back. We are watching the top 4 match between Blue Purple Luffy and Green Bonney. Funny enough, Green Bonney literally looking at the Blue Purple Luffy's deck list the moment before it starts. Gotta read slow beam real quick. I believe the Blue Purple Luffy won seeding and got to go first. I'm not sure if either of them chose to mulligan. Also, shout outs to the Eggman for streaming all this. If you would like to watch more of his stream, please check out, or if you want to just check out more of the tournament, please check out his stream on his channel. All right, so we're going to go ahead and pass on Blue Purple Luffy side. No surprise there. Bonnie's going to go ahead and use a Bonney. We see a 9-cost Zoro. Definitely something that can come up in this matchup if the Blue Purple Luffy player is not running Red Rocks. And we're going to go ahead and grab a Kid and Killer off that search. So not a Cavendish, surprising enough. Going to go ahead and draw for turn as the Blue Purple Luffy player. Going to swing into that SP Bonney. Beautiful card. Going to go ahead and play out the 3-cost Zoro and pass turn. Bonney going to go ahead and swing 6 at life. Going to go ahead and take that. Going to go ahead and play out the 3-cost TCG and pass turn. Don't want our opponent to be able to 9-mom our 5-drops later. However, we are sacrificing this to God Thread if Nick has it. Based on the fact that this is only a 5k swing, he easily could. Also, we left up no Dawn. Interesting. I wasn't expecting the no Dawn approach. Very rare that you see a Bonney player do that. But I guess this is the extremely rare matchup where the Bonney player actually doesn't want the game to go longer. Like versus most decks that have ever been printed, Bonney is pretty happy for the game to go longer because her bombs are so good. Okay, I see we drew a 2k, maybe a giant, and I'm not sure what else. Nick. Looking like he maybe has a little bit of the shakies. Completely understandable. Gonna go ahead and bottom deck and pass. Gonna go ahead and draw for turn. Finding that Rosinante. Okay, gonna go ahead and play down the Cavendish, restanding some Dawn. I wonder if we're gonna swing 5 or 6 into this Zoro. Gonna go ahead and swing 6, and then I imagine play the Kid and Killer. Also, I just realized I'm playing this on 1 speed. We can go ahead and put on 1.25. We're gonna go ahead and block 1k. Oh, 2k. Okay, fair enough. Only plays 6 2Ks, so we know there's only 5 left. Oh, thinking of going 6 again. Okay. Really not wanting Nick to be able to ramp to 9. I actually missed if he put the cards on top or bottom. Well, I feel like as Nick, we're pretty thrilled that this TCG is just exposed. We get to swing at it twice if we want to. This looking like a bit of a misstep from the Bonney player, because Now we can remove your stuff for the rest of the game. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm thrilled with that decision making from the Bonney. I understand he wanted to prevent Nick from going to 9, but Nick didn't even care about going to 9. He just wanted to play out this Doflamingo. The Doflamingo will not get to ramp because you need an active Dawn in order to ramp, but you know, it's just a big body. Ooh, Hody Jones coming down. We could go like 6-8-8 if we really want to. I imagine regardless of anything, we're always going to start with a 6 from Cavendish, and we're going to go with the Nami, actually. This was probably going to force a counter regardless of if it went at Nami or at life. Oh, never mind. I'm a little surprised he just let that go. I guess the thinking is it's just going to get rested next turn anyways. Seems reasonable. Basically, by letting it die, we're just giving up a leader swing next turn. Doesn't seem like the biggest deal in the world. Gonna go ahead and go 8 at life, which we will take. Also used a second 2K, so only 4 left in the entire deck. I'm gonna go ahead and play out the Rosinante. Okay, never mind. The Bonney player has decided that leader effect is fake. We are currently playing with the vanilla leader so far this game. Which I can kind of understand. This is probably a matchup where we do have to really pressure the blue-purple Luffy player, because once they get to this part of the game, they're drawing whatever 2 cards they want for the rest of the game, which is problematic. Okay, gonna go ahead and go 9 at 6, which we will 0 cost 1K. Oh, wow. Huh. Pitching a 1K off the 0 cost. This is pretty telling about the hand. They either have 1 or 0 2Ks in hand. Going to go ahead and play down the Doflamingo, which is going to go ahead and let us Rosinante pitch, draw 2. I'm wondering if that's the correct pitch. I feel like slow beam is probably pretty nuts in this matchup, actually. So I'm wondering if that was the correct pitch. Like, if they ever tried to swing with Cavendish first, this slow beam could get a lot of value. And we'll never know now if they would have done it, because this is open deck list, so now they know that they're allowed to do it because the slow beam has been pitched. Also interesting that we elected to leave up 4 Dawn. After the 0-1-1 thing, I feel like I would really want to swing 7 at that Cavendish rather than 6. but Nick being very disciplined, probably deciding, look, I could do that and I could juice hands without a 2K, or I could force him to use the 2K, and then like next turn, he won't have any because he can never have 2 in his hand basically. And then obviously I get a lot of value from that, but looking at the structure of the game, the only way I lose is if I die next turn, and I can never die if I leave up 4 Dawn. If I leave up 3, maybe he Hodies 2 of them, I only have 1 active Dawn, maybe I can die. I can't see his exact hand structure, but maybe that's the case. And if that's the case, then why open up yourself to potentially dying? And we know actually that the Bonney player actually has the Hody in hand, and he's actually going to play it. Nick seems rather unbothered by this, though. This is why he left up all that Dawn. Gonna swing 6, which will be met by a 2K counter. Okay. This worked out fine. Like, we did get a 2K on the 6, but I'm not convinced that 6-9 is the correct number here, because our opponent has Gum Gum Giant so often. Really what happens, like a huge percentage of the time, we go 1K Giant. So we only get a 1K out of the hand rather than a 2K. Like, I will say hands that don't have Giant and have another Gear 2, this juices pretty hard. But I don't know how often that really happens, to be honest. So I would have liked to see a 7-8 there rather than a 6-9 personally. Okay, and we did leave up Dawn for leader. Fair enough. We have to, basically. I would say this is definitely part of the game that it feels like the blue-purple Luffy is a bit favored. But it's not over yet. I will say the Bonney player only having 3 cards in hand, it does seem problematic. Okay, just starting with the Rosinante swing. We know even if we start with a Doflamingo, it's the other one's going to get rested anyways. Okay, so opponent has given us a 2K. Now they're giving us a 1K. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and heal that Cavendish. Nick got the shakies for real, for real. And we'll go ahead and pass here, 4 cards in hand. Bonney going to 2 cards in hand. Definitely feeling like the blue-purple is pretty far ahead here. More cards in hand. Going to continue getting more cards in hand. Same life. A bit better board as the blue-purple as well. Okay, gonna go ahead and swing 8 at 6. I imagine we let that die. I imagine at this point what we intend to do is kind of just float around as the blue-purple here on this turn. Like, make sure not too much damage is caused. And then next turn, like, take the board and play like a 5-cost Nami or a 4-cost Onami after swinging out and leaving Dawn up. Okay, gonna 2K. I think Nick has found all of his 2Ks this game. Okay, gonna go ahead and go 7 and then 9. I will say, especially with the context of Nick being on so few 2Ks, I would have really liked to see earlier. That's 7-8 rather than 6-9. Yeah, and there is that Onami. The rest looks like trash though, so probably an Onami bottom angle. Unless there's a giant in there, there might be a giant. Okay. I think we're drawing a brick to pitch off the Onami. I will also say, I think this is a small misplay. I think he drew the 9-cost Sanji and he added the Onami. It doesn't matter. We're so far ahead, we don't really need to conceal that much information. But if that is what he did, I think we should be adding the Sanji and drawing the Onami. That way our opponent doesn't know what we really plan to do this turn. Oh, never mind. It was a Rosinante. I thought that was an Onami for sure. No, there is an Onami. Okay. He must have drawn the Rosinante. I'm not exactly sure. But this Rosinante going +1, filtering the hand. Also letting us keep Dawn. Okay, so not even playing the Onami, not feeling like we need it. The opponent has only 1 card in hand. We know it's almost certainly not a 2K unless they just drew it. Gonna go 10 at life. We know with 4 Dawn active, we can never die. I think we should know one of these draws. Okay, and it was the Sanji. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and pitch a 1K. This deck is just so tanky when it's allowed to leave up infinite Dawn. And we can just get those Dawn back, which makes it so that we cannot be punished for using a Gum Gum Giant, you know? Something very unique about this list. We can use 2 Gum Gum Giants in a turn, and if we have double Doflamingo set up, we don't have to worry about the usual thing Blue Purple has to worry about, which is not getting to leader effect the following turn. Pretty insane. Okay, so the Bonney electing to go first this time. Going to go ahead and play out the TCG Impasse. I have to imagine this game we will be more careful about keeping this TCG, but also, to be fair, Nick didn't really remove much of our board besides exactly 1 Cavendish last game, so it ended up working out okay. Gonna go ahead and play the Bond Clay into the Sugar. Gonna go ahead and play out this Smoker, restand at Dawn. Based on how we've been playing this before, I imagine we'll be swinging 6 here. Which will be met by 1K. Nick gonna go ahead and draw for turn. Definitely got the shakies like crazy. I will say the venue was also pretty cold. So hard to say if from nerves or from cold or a mixture of both. Wow, I don't feel like he shook this much in the finals. Okay, gonna swing 7 at life with the Bond Clay. Also no Dawn up, so we could Go 8 at life with Luffy, just putting them down real fast. And we have the double ramp, which is going to allow us to leader effect next turn. Double Bond Clay, of course, extremely strong into decks that want to play out tall bodies. It's a one-time use, but we basically got to play a 4/7. That becomes a blocker, a pseudo blocker-esque. Especially because our opponent does not play real 1-drops. Like, it plays the Bonney, but the Bonney is like such an awful swinger. Because they want to rest it. Okay, gonna go 8 banish, rip the slow beam. So gonna ignore this sugar. We'll see if that comes back to bite them, but I mean, banish is pretty good. Okay, so we're gonna freeze the sugar. This carrot does feel extremely weak, though, I'm not gonna lie. But I'm also not seeing anything better they could have done. So, fair enough. We're gonna go ahead and add a Sanji. I would love to see a Sanji, Dofi, Rosie combo come out here. That would be pretty sick. Play out 3 bodies and only use 1 card in hand, basically. Or go -1 in hand. Would be pretty sick. Come on, do it, Nick. Oh my god, we're so in there. Holy shizai. Holy shizai. Big Jinbei plays Big Jinbei plays the GOAT Rosinante. Holy shizai. Wow. I'm gonna be honest. I think this Bonney player has cooked this game. Holy shizai. I feel like Nick has seen everything he could possibly dream of this game, honestly. Okay, 5 free sugar. Or 6 free sugar. Gonna 1k out of that. 7 banish. Which will actually be met by a Gum Gum Giant. So here, oh wow, we actually did have a 2k. So heads up play from Nick deciding, hey, this is the last swing this turn anyways. My Bonney opponent is probably gonna play, honestly, on 9 Dawn. I guess they're just playing a Shanks. Geez, maybe the lowest value Shanks I've ever seen in my life. They're either playing a Shanks or a Zoro, which I have to imagine, shouldn't we be really scared of a Zoro coming down here? We know their deck list. We know they're on, if I remember correctly, 3. And if that's the case, if we know they're on 3 and we pitched the only Red Rock in our deck, I mean, I guess Red Rock doesn't matter here because they have the TCG on board. Fair enough. Okay, gonna 2k, 1k this 9 at 7. Gonna go 6 at 6, which will be met by a 1k. Gonna go 6 at 6, which is gonna be met by a 1k. And we'll go ahead and play out the Big Mom. I imagine to heal the TCG. If we wanted to beat over the TCG, we would have done this in different sequence. And we'll go ahead and restand 2 Dawn and pass. I see another Shanks in hand, and honestly, the Shanks will actually put in a lot of work here. We can go 6 at life. We can freeze the Rosinante. 1K out of that. 6 at life. 1K again. Now I imagine we 7 at life banish. I'm not exactly sure why we waited so long to use this Luffy effect. Also, if we are going to play the Shanks this turn, we should have already done it, I think. I think we should kill this Rosinante. I know it's frozen, and we can keep it perma-frozen. But honestly, I feel like... I guess Nick only has 2 cards left in hand. Oh, and he gives both. Wow, Nick down to no cards. Wait, this actually looks like a pretty good spot for the Shanks. Or for the Bonney. Nick has literally no cards in hand. Okay, gonna go ahead and add the gear 2, which can't help us protect our board next turn. Meaning a lot of the time we lose our board again. Drawing a card that I'm not sure what it is. Maybe it's like a Nami. A Nami would be nice. Okay, it looks like we're thinking to go like 13 out of Shanks. $13 out of Shanks. Do we have the 2-1? We do. I'm sure that is not what Nick wanted to see. A Nami could be nice here. We get to swing over the carrot. We get a blocker that goes +1. No, just going to swing huge at the Shanks. We'll pass here. And now we're both playing top deck game. And when we're both playing top deck game, the deck that gets to top deck twice and pick those draws is definitely at an advantage. Okay, gonna go 9. I think this was likely at life, and there was a giant. That's huge. Nine at Rosie. Freeze Rose. Oh no, 9 at Big Mom. Wait, and it dies? So that stack was just Brick City? Okay, I'm gonna be honest. We should really be killing this Rosinante. I know that we get to perma-freeze it, but like, I don't know, man. I think him getting to restand 2 Dawn is like very, very good value. Like, I think he cares about that way more than the swing. As someone who has played these purple Luffy piles before. Gonna leave on top. So wait, I think that was a whiff. I don't think he added a hand. Okay, gonna go 7 at carrot. We do know the card in hand. Ooh. Luffy Rosie again. And then we get to restand 4 Dawn. Jesus. This is a really interesting game. We're going to go 9 at life. This Bonney player really enjoys swinging 9. 11 at life. Big number. We didn't leave up any dawn, though. We didn't leave up any dawn. What is this swing? This swing is a 12? I mean, 12 is a good number, but I'm not sure, man. Not leaving up any dawn here seems like it could be problematic. Why did we start with 9 instead of 8? I think we should have gone 8, 11, 12, leave up a dawn. And if the opponent counters out of the 8, maybe we go 6 with Kid and Killer. We go like 8, 8, 6, 8, 6, 8, 6, 8, 11. Leave up a dawn. Okay, gonna go 7 at 7. Oh, he's trying to do Kid and Killer effect. He thinks he can, but he has no rested dawn. Oh, a massive blunder. Oh, man. Okay, wait, he can now. Now that the smoker is dead, he actually can do it, but it's probably a little too late. Huge number at the shanks. What is this? This is a 12. It's a 14. Ooh, and an Onami, and we get to restand 4 dawn. And we have 2 events. Yeah, I think this last turn by the Bonney player was a massive blunder. I think we lost because of this last turn. Yeah, not leaving a dawn up. Yeah. How do we win as the Bonney player here? You need Hody. And you need the opponent's hand to be a complete bluff, basically. You need them to be no events in hand, basically. Which, to be fair, they've gone through a lot of Gum Gum Giants. They have been going through a lot of Gum Gum Giants. Okay, I gotta go 8 at life. I imagine this is gonna be met by a gear second. Yep. This was a super entertaining game. This was like crazy back and forth. I wonder how different this game could have gone if we just found the Zoro. Maybe I'm thinking of the other Bonney players list, but the other Bonney definitely ran 3 Zoro. I wonder how many we ran. Yeah, I don't know. They stuck this Onami. They got to draw more cards. How many cards did we even force out of their hand last turn? One. We forced one card out of their hand. So less than they even drew for turn. Like, our opponent basically went +2 cards off the Onami and the extra card they drew. And then this turn they have 2 more cards. So it's actually getting harder to kill them, not easier. Which is the opposite of what you normally see most of the time versus decks. As the game progresses, as you're swinging, it gets easier to kill them because your swings are taking cards away. But this last turn, they actually went up in cards, which is obviously disastrous. Okay, gonna go ahead and block a 6. Go 6, have him take it, and then kill with the Onami. You won't. Nah, he won't. Lame. Oh, the shakies are crazy. Gonna go 9. This is so much lamer than killing with the Onami, by the way. Which, for the record, killing with Onami was not guaranteed if the opponent had 4 2Ks. But they ain't have that. They ain't have it. Damn, good game. Really interesting back and forth game 2, to be honest. I'm wondering where it all went wrong for the Bonney player, because you look at, like, not this board state. We had to double shanks at one point. Yeah. Was it even here or was it before here? You look at this board state and you feel pretty good as the Shanks player, man. You feel pretty good as the Shanks player. Not the Shanks player, the Bonney player. Like, Nick literally starts this turn before leader effect with 0 cards in his hand. Literally 0. Huh. What an interesting game. Well, shout outs to everyone who supports this channel on Metafy. If you would like to help make videos like this possible, please check out the link in the description. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.